Okay, sometimes we're going to need to convert 2 or more units. So we're going to follow those same 4 steps that we did before. Okay, you should keep these 4 steps handy. You should keep this chart handy because you're going to need it again. Okay, so if we are converting 1.92 meters per second to kilometers per minute. Now, before we had to write the original unit as a fraction over 1. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do 1.92. We already have a fraction here. This says 1.92 meters per 1 second. So we're going to put meters here, and we're going to put 1 second on the bottom. We just rewrote that. We need to change it to kilometers per minute. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to look and see how many units am I changing. Well, meters has to become kilometers. So I'm going to have 1 conversion factor for that. But seconds also has to become minutes, so I actually need to multiply by 2 conversion factors. And my answer should end up in some kilometers per minute. So if you need to pause a second and write that down, then do that so you can go along with me as we do the problem. So what conversion factors do I need? Well, I have to change meters to kilometers. So right here, let's put our conversion factor for meters to kilometers. 1 kilometer is 1,000 meters. So I'm going to put the 1,000 meters on the bottom because it's on the top here, and I'm always going opposite. And then seconds to minutes, that's not on your chart because you already know that there are 60 seconds in a minute. So seconds is on the bottom here, so that means I need to put my 60 seconds on the top of this conversion factor, and then my 1 minute on the bottom. Now I follow the same second step as I did before. I cross off any units that are repeated top and bottom. So I have meters here and meters here, so I get rid of them. I have seconds on the bottom and seconds on the top, so I get rid of them. And then I can double check because I'm supposed to end up with kilometers on the top. So I look, kilometers is the only unit I have left, so that's good. Minutes is what I'm supposed to have on the bottom, and I look, and minutes is the only unit I have left on the bottom, so I'm on the right track. Now I multiply across to solve the fraction, so I'm going to do 1.92 times 1 times 60. On the top I should have 115.2, and on the bottom I'm going to do 1 times 1,000 times 1. I know you already know the answer to that, but I'm just showing you that you multiply these 3 numbers by each other. And of course that's going to be 1,000. Now, since we're not going to just simplify here. This is a unit rate because I want to know kilometers per 1 minute. So to simplify, I need to get my denominator down to 1. So that means we have to do just like you did in lesson 1. I have to divide the top and bottom by whatever the bottom is. Okay? So that gets me down. If I do 1,000 divided by 1,000, it's going to get me to 1 minute, which is what I want. And on the top, 115.2 divided by 1,000 is 0.1152 kilometers. Okay, so then my answer would be, let's say I'm going to round it to the nearest hundredth. Okay, I have 0.1152, and I take this and I rewrite it as kilometers per minute, like that. I want to round to the hundredths place. That's right here. Okay? So to round to the hundredths place, I need to look at the digit to the right of it. Everything to the left stays the same. So that 0, the point, and the 1, it's going to stay there. What's this 5 going to do to that 1? It's going to make it round up to a 2. And so 1.92 meters per second is 0.12 kilometers per minute. Now I would like you to pause the video and try to do this same problem, or this next problem. You're changing 0.15 miles per minute into feet per second. So go ahead and pause the video and do the problem. It's going to look the same as it does up here, and then restart the video to check your work. Okay, so I start out by looking at what am I changing. I am changing miles to feet, and I am also changing minutes to seconds. That's 2 changes. That means 2 conversion factors. So I start by writing my original unit as a fraction. Miles per 1 minute. I know I need 2 conversion factors, and I know that my answer will be in feet per second. I know that because it's right here. Now, I have to change miles to feet. So my conversion factor, miles to feet, 1 mile is 5,280 feet. So my 1 mile is going to go on the bottom. 5,280 feet goes on the top. Remember, it goes on the bottom because miles is on the top here. You always want to go opposite. Minutes to seconds. Well, I know that there are 60 seconds in a minute. And since minutes is on the bottom here, I'm going to put that on the top here. And now I am going to cross off any units that are repeated top and bottom. I have miles on the top and the bottom. I have minutes on the bottom and the top. Now I check, I need to have feet here when I get done. So I look, feet is the only unit I have left. Awesome. I look here, seconds is the only unit I have left. Awesome. So now I'm going to multiply across. 0.15 times 5,280 times 1 is 792. So I have 792 feet. And I'm going to do 1 times 60, multiplying those 3 numbers by each other. So there are 792 feet in 60 seconds. And now I'm going to divide these both by 60 because I need a unit rate. I need the bottom to be 1 for these. And so I end up with 1 second. And then 792 divided by 60 is 13.2 feet. So 13.2 feet in 1 second, which I'm going to rewrite as 13.2 feet per second.